Hello again, BIO100, and welcome to the lab portion of the research questions and experimental design module. So in the lab portion of this module, we will do two main things. The first thing we will do is take a quiz like we have been doing every week. This quiz is a little bit different though, so you'll see that instead for this quiz what we're doing is actually focusing on gratitude. So gratitude is this idea of being thankful for the positive things in your life, and there have been studies that show there are many positive benefits of practicing gratitude in your life, including increased engagement in courses, increased retention in college courses. So, and this is actually something that I practice every day in my own life. That's the first thing when I wake up in the morning actually, is in my head. I think of 3 things that I'm grateful for just to help me reframe my thinking to make sure I'm staying positive. And so the quiz this week is a little bit different in the sense that it's not related to BIO100 content per se, but it's just encouraging you to think about things you're grateful for in your own life. So that's the quiz. And then the lab activity for this week is building on what we did in the lecture portion. So in the lecture portion, we had you observe your surroundings and come up with a research question and then develop the different components of that question and how you would test that question in an experimental design setup. And what we'll do for the lab activity this week is we're going to give you different images. So there are links in Canvas to give you access to these different images. So images of plants and the intestine, gut microbiome. So different images. And then what we'll ask you to do is be creative, pick different images, and then use those images to come up with a research question similar to what we did in the lecture portion, and flesh that out in the same way, coming up with a hypothesis, identifying the variables, thinking of the statistical tests you would need to use. And then what's different, a little bit different about this week, is we'll then have you, after you've come up with those things on your own, we're going to have you post those on a discussion board. So some of you had mentioned that you think it would be nice to have a little bit more interaction with your peers in the class outside of just the group that I assigned you to. So this will be a chance for us to do that. So what you'll do once you've come up with your own research question and associated variables and whatnot, you'll post that on the discussion board, which is also in our lab portion of our module. That's there for you. You'll post that and then you'll reply to 2 of your peers. So in your discussion posts, when you're describing your research idea, etc., you're also going to include one thing you're still not quite sure about or confused about. So maybe I came up with this idea, but I don't know if my independent variables should be continuous or categorical, or I don't know what test to use, anything you're still confused about. And then you can, when you're replying to the other people's posts, you can specifically try to help them with that. So maybe if you have an idea for how they can approach the thing they're still confused about. So this is a way for us to help give each other feedback and kind of think collectively, even though we aren't in person face to face. So that's one thing that's a little bit different about the lab activity this week. So you will have a worksheet just like before that you'll turn in, but you'll also have to post on the discussion board. So if you have questions, let me know, but all of those instructions and resources are provided for you within the lab portion of our Canvas module for this week. But of course, let me know if you have questions, and hopefully, again, you can have some fun with this. This is a chance for us to think creatively and come up with some new science ideas and things for us to test.